investigation to be made.
Because
he died of
no one else.
Obviously of the element, or they must have thought he got lost in the woods or whatever happened, but he clearly died soon after he was seen on a camera.
After he called his mom. Literally.
After he called her and told her that he was in pursuit of, he was being chased.
And who it was.
Exactly. He knew exactly who it was, and he's telling his story.
But they chose to ignore it. But again, we're talking about Mississippi. You hear me?
It's crazy.
And not to say it goes on everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's
now,
just not known.
Let's go to Indiana. Tanisha Chappelle. 23 years old. She died in Indiana jail.
Talk about it.
Her family is getting no cooperation at all from the justice system. The place where she was incarcerated at. Mm-hmm. Now, Tanisha called her mom and told her mom that, begged and pleaded with her mom to get her out of jail. She had a $50,000 bond, which had got later dropped down to a $4,000 bond. But, unfortunately, her family still couldn't bail her out, which $4,000 is still a lot of money.
Indeed. Especially when you ain't got it.
Right. Now, we have the other inmates in the jail. Other inmates in jail that heard her calling for help, asking the police to please help her. That she called her mother. She told her mother, please, if you don't get me out, I'm going to die in here. Now, the police find her dead.
Of course.
But they have no information for the family as to why she died. They're not cooperating. They're not giving any information as far as what had happened to her. There is no investigation being done on this.
You know why? Because the police did it. They did it.
And not only that, look how easy it is for them to just get away with it. Now, explain to me how somebody that's being held in your facility, and you can't explain to me
the death. You can't tell me shit. You can't tell me not one bit or piece of information on my child.
This is what kills me. The ignorance, right?
Sacks of shit.
The award for the ignorance. Now, just because they don't know, there's no investigation being made. Just because they can't deem that it was a homicide, there's no investigations being made. But clearly the family, when the family got her body, they see that she, have
again,
bruises,
like I said,
and
these things be in the reports.
Swellage.
The autopsy, quote unquote, it's supposed to tell the cause of death, yes or no. This is the whole thing with this. Each one of these cases can tell you that.
Right.
The autopsy tells it all.
Right.
But yet, it's sad that it's still like, yeah, no, that's not what happened. This will happen, or that will happen, or we are in clear, or blah, 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 blah. And we understand, again, there's cameras in every inch of a fucking police station.
But we have to also keep in mind, these are small little towns.
True.
Small counties.
True.
She was only one of 2 black women being held in that facility.
How ironic.
So that just goes to show how small the community is, and how, how many black people actually reside there.
Or maybe she was just passing through there.
Either way, she was under their protection. You know, just because they say that, well, we don't know what happened, we didn't physically see what happened, doesn't mean that there was no foul play. You know, but it's easy for the jail or the police or the law to cover up certain things.
Of course, because they the police.
Right, just like with Rashim, how they're able to cover that up. Now, whoever murdered him obviously knew the police. You know, this is a small county.
I'm going to just call the elephant in the room. It's the KKK. Just hateful people. Hateful white folk who don't like our kind. Us colored.
Right.
Us melanin, fulfilled people.
Right.
Period. I'm going to just call it how we see it. It's
Right.
just blatant. It's obvious. You know what I mean? Because you just don't disappear.
Exactly.
You don't just show a picture.
But you would never have a white family call and say, hey, listen, my son called and he says he's being chased by 3 black men.
You have the whole SWAT team in that goddamn forest.
And it damn sure wouldn't have took a whole month to find, especially if he was caught on camera in this area. The first place they would have went and checked was this area.
And they damn sure not just get a mom a picture. They gonna show her.
They gonna show the whole footage. But to say that the police didn't even investigate.
Because they know they saw the footage and they were like, yeah, we're not going to just turn ourselves over like that. And why? Because they're in the position of power that they are in.
But the mother had to rely on what the National Guard, or the, not National Guard, but the wildlife control said. What was on their cameras.
Which was some bullshit.
Police never subpoena any video from this place.
Exactly. Because they knew what was on the footage.
Or the source of the video. They never.
And the mama know that. This is what's on the footage. That's why she's trying to, put her story out there.
Right.
She knows that, this is some bullshit.
Right.
There's more footage than that. And there's more than just one camera.
Right.
More than one angle. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's just full of shit. Period.
And the hurt for the families. The hurt from the families. Each of these mothers. I mean, look at Sandra Bland. She died years ago. July 13th, 2015. She was 28 years old. She died in Waller County, Texas. Another small county.
And again,
3
Texas.
days after she was arrested at a traffic stop.
Texas.
Now, she was found hung in her jail cell. And the death was ruled a suicide.
They had already killed that woman.
So, explain to me why, with this lady that was just taken to jail from a simple traffic stop. And, mind you, I'm pretty sure she only went to jail because, she didn't agree with being stopped. She was only in jail just a short time. She wasn't facing no time there. She had everything going for her.
Didn't have no record, nothing.
But yet, her death was ruled a suicide? Explain to me. Explain to me how this is being looked over. And how we're just being murdered.
Haunted. Period. Any chance they get. Any opportunity that's presented to them.
We're just being murdered. They don't even care about. And you know what's crazy about this whole thing? We doing the same shit to ourselves. We killing each other. We lynching each other. So, I mean, back in those times, when racism was accepted, I'll say, when racism was accepted, all we had was our black people. We knew that if we was around our black people, we was safe. It was only two colors that matter in our life, and that was black and white.
I say now, it's gone deeper than that. Just on the strength of what happened with in Memphis, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like now, because you feel like you're in the position of power.
Right.
You get what I mean? You can make these things happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to watch the news on it, it was mind blowing to me. Because when I seen it was 5 black officers.
Right.
It was even more heartbreaking. Like, you gotta be kidding me, right?
And you'll be surprised how hard we make it for our own black people.
You feel me?
And it's sad.
Unnecessary, and it's sad. So we're haunting ourselves as well. I mean, this shit goes real deep. You know what I mean? But what our community doesn't realize, well, at least a lot of them don't, you know, especially the younger generation, is this shit was bred in us from long time ago.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, when you really look at it, we've been doing this shit for years, for decades.
Man.
For decades. And it's just sad that a lot of our young youth, you know what I mean, don't understand it. Like, don't you know, like, they will take your life and make you disappear.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have 3 black young kings. You know what I mean? And to have to teach them and tell them, hey, like, if you ever get stopped,
even your daughters, we see they're killing our women.
Right. Off top. Can't leave the girls out either. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys serious? They're really serious.
And it is serious. It is serious.
And it's happening now, 2022, 2023. Man. It's consistent. And a lot of this stuff is unknown. A lot of people don't know about some of these stories.
And I'm talking about Tanisha Chappelle. She's the most recent. But look at Stanley Wilson Jr.
Football player. NFL player. Just disappeared.
Now, he was arrested in August of last year.
Talk about it.
And his attorney, John Carpenter, he claimed that he was showing signs of CTE, which is a mental condition. Now, he was initially arrested on trespassing. Apparently, him and his wife had a restraining order against each other. Whatever. But when his wife did contact the police, she did let them know that, hey, listen, he's not in his right frame of mind.
Period.
And he do suffer from a mental condition that did include schizophrenia.
Yes.
And he had few run-ins with the police, and it was on every time that he had these run-ins, it was during a time where he wasn't, feeling so well. He wasn't feeling himself. And he even knew because, when he did come to, he always explained to the judge that, hey, listen, I just wasn't feeling myself. It
wasn't me.
You're right.
I felt like I was outside of myself. You know what I mean? Like, basically.
Exactly. But just remember when he was arrested in August, now, the court deemed him incompetent to stand trial.
So what does that tell you?
So he clearly needed to be in a hospital and not in the jail.
So we're going to rewind again. When his wife called authorities, she stated, he's not in his right mind.
Right.
You get what I mean? Not in his right mind. But yet, no EMTs, nobody who was in the medical field was sent to the location.
Right.
Just totally disregarded.